Morning, guys. Morning. Uncle Craig here on the Bon Nog at the crack of dawn. Actually, it's close to 7, so it's not the crack of dawn, but early enough. Sun's out, not a cloud in the sky really, except maybe on the horizon. So I don't know if there's going to be any rain today. Probably later. I can't remember. I think I heard there's going to be a couple of days of sunshine or something. Yesterday it was very sunny all day. Pretty cool. And actually I don't think I did anything yesterday. I mean, other than, checking my fish trap or whatever. But because it was the day before, I did so much work on that shop house, man. Then drank some beers after and ate dinner, went to bed, and next morning I was still knackered. So I think I just chilled yesterday. Did go out to the market, of course, at night for pick up my dinner. Anyway, today I thought I'd also do nothing. Now maybe I would think I'm going to try and take a look at my fountain over there at the pond that's been under construction. See if I can't do some aesthetic improvements and see about getting the water over to there. Kind of a minor project, although I need to also give some attention to my bamboo palace over here. My wife said it's quite dusty, so I'll have to check that out. Don't want the elements to take over. That's the thing about here on the farm, you, especially new, you want to multitask, but I really want to get the shop house finished. But I have to watch these two guys all the time, and between the shop house and everything else, it's kind of difficult to. Whoa, let me zoom back out there. To prioritize, which one you want to do. But I realize that when I work really hard in the shop house, it can take its toll on my body, and it can set me back, a few days or whatever if I work too hard. So it's beneficial when you're doing stuff to mix it up a little bit. I mean, the pond fountain project, it's not a big strenuous deal. The bamboo, not that strenuous. So, mix it up a little bit. One of the things that sunny there. One of the things that I have been asked a few times about about my house here is, do I get bugs and stuff, maintenance on the house really. So I thought I'd share a few things this morning about what I do in terms of maintenance on the house. This house, we've been in it for, since February, so what's that, 8 months? And initially when we moved in, I thought, oh man, this is all wood house. I'm gonna have to check on this thing every month and see what's up and protect it and all this other stuff. In the first month or so, it was really hot out. I think we had some ants or something, mostly because the whole ground had been disturbed, right? We laid a new foundation and all this other stuff, so we sprayed for ants down there at the bottom on the footers of the pilings, but really just ignored it. Haven't done anything on the house. If we saw something living in there or whatever, then you know we got rid of it. But let me just show you. Let me put my coffee down. The house, you know, this is the morning side, right? The sun on the morning, and it doesn't get as hot as the afternoon. The varnish on this side of the house still got a nice shine to it, although it's dulled a little bit since obviously when we put up the house 8 months ago. We have yet to tile this, but it will be. The footers are really just bolted to the ground. Put a foundation in it, bolted it, and that's it. Those beams are not cemented into the ground. I've seen some of the shorter houses, they cement them in. I guess that's an option for you, but we didn't do it. I mean, it didn't matter. A lot easier to move the house if you have to. Anyway, so I just take this is Chundrite, basically bug spray, and you can spray it underneath there. You know, I'll go around and I'll spray all the pilings with this. Also, if there's, you know, this wood, it was like 100 years old, right? Some of this stuff. Oh, look at that. There's another gecko lizard. But you can see, like, right there, right in there, that area is old. And sometimes, you know, I'll spray in there also, just to, you know, or in these little old nail holes, just as a kind of a preventive thing, so that nothing gets in there. I'll go around to each one of the joints, and then I'll just look at all the rafters. I mean, you'll get these things, these little cotton things, and then some mud things, and you just knock them off really easy. I can either use a stick to knock them off. I have this little brush that I bought, and you can go in here in between the rafters and, you know, wipe cobwebs off and stuff. Pretty basic kind of maintenance stuff. You have, sometimes you have little visitors like this guy, your common tree frog. I don't know how he got up there. Well, he's got those 5 fingers of suction up there. And up in here, yeah, you have some more mud nests. We just knock those out with a stick. And usually with these kind of mud things, I'll knock them out with a stick, scrape them off, and then I actually spray that area. Not really with Chundrite, but I'll spray it with WD-40 actually. Keep them from getting in there. And that's where the mud comes. You can see it's up here again. Oh, and that little mud spot. Kind of look in the inconspicuous places. Most of them are in between, like these double rafters that they have set up. You'll find them in there. So I just go around and kind of systematically and look at all the little things that have been, you know, growing. Remember, it's been 8 months now, and this is pretty much what I got in 8 months. So it's really nothing. You're not getting a whole lot of issues. Oh, there you go. Sometimes you get this kind of issue. What the heck? We looks like we have a shredder. Or shedder. So yeah, snake has gone up in there. I don't know if I can do that. No. Snake has gone up in there and shed its skin. It's kind of stuck in there. I have to dig that out. Well, it's good it didn't come into the house. And that's another thing when you're building, when you have one of these houses. We had a big tree here. It was kind of tall, and we cut it back all the way down and away because what you want to make sure is that you don't have trees right up against the house where a snake or whatever can jump over and get into the house via the tree branches, right? So we keep the trees, relatively far enough away from the house that we're not going to have that issue. When we first had the house in place, it was all these things were a lot closer, but we don't really have that problem now. I did this electrical for these outside lights. I didn't really do the best job. Could have put that in a nice little square conduiting and all that other stuff, but this is indoor outdoor wire. It's fine like it is. The outside of the house, this is the afternoon side. The afternoon side gets most of the heat, and so this side has been dulled a lot more on the varnish, and this actually, you can see the electrical pipes up there. We had the lines come in. I actually dug the trench myself from the pole underground all the way to here, because I wanted the line to go underneath. I didn't want it to go above. And then they ran it up here, but what I did was I built this box, some old teakwood we had on the property. I built this box around there. So yeah, and when I put it all the way up, I did build another one for the one going that way, but I haven't put it on yet because I used my bamboo ladder to put that up there, and I couldn't really get all the way up there because the bamboo ladder was kind of on the outside. It's too tall, and anyway, I didn't get it to there yet. Probably something else I need to do, but now I have scaffolding. I bought the I showed in the other video, I bought a scaffolding set, and if you have a house like this that's raised, then you definitely probably want to buy scaffolding. At least one, but preferably 3 tiers, because then they're about what, $60 each or something. 3 tiers so you can get up to the roof. I mean, of course I'm 64 now, and I don't see myself getting on the roof at 74 doing stuff, but I get my drone up there is what I'll do, what I have done before. Get my drone up there and just go down and point the camera down and survey the whole roof to make sure that after like a big storm or this or that I don't have any tiles lifting or like that, just to kind of survey what's going on. And but the scaffolding will enable me to apply a new coat of varnish on the outside of the house, and I think that's probably, maybe that's an annual thing. It's been 8 months. I probably won't do it until we've stopped this rainy season, but I did buy a can of varnish, and I did buy a blower from Lazada. I didn't want to do it by roller or by brush, because when you do that with varnish, it actually will trap air bubbles in the brush strokes. And this is the varnish. Here, let me do it this way. It's the Lobster brand. Teakwood, exterior, interior. This is a Lobster 9000. This should be sufficient. A little sprayer, container, cheap aluminum, and this is a compressor. So yeah, that works. Oh my gosh. The wood furniture that's outdoors, it never has an issue. So I don't have to worry about ants or anything like that. I don't even have ants. I mean, I look around here right now as I walked around, and there's nothing going on. In spite of the rain, usually the rain will bring in, everything from whatever's underneath the ground getting flooded, right? But here, we get too much of it. We've had pretty much all the elements, right? It was baking hot. It was kind of cool when we first got in here, but in February it started to, heat up. By March and April it was blazing hot, 100 degrees probably. And so any creaking or, you think some of the wood might bend from being super heated, but didn't have that issue. And then the rains came, of course, and all that, and it's still here actually, but we don't have any issues. The house is bulletproof in that regard, and it's actually it's a great option. Some of the more, I suppose, wear and tear that you might get are things like the walkway, the entrance. When you think about the varnish and all that, the stairs, you can see right here, you have the wear, and that's because this area here, the front part of the stairs, will get most of the wear and tear because it gets wet here. It's exposed to the elements because it's closer to the edge. The second tier, really not so much. And also because even though you take your shoes off, there's still a little bit of sand, so there's some grinding going on when you're walking up here, so it kind of peels off the varnish. So what I'll do is, we plan on being gone for the day or whatever, I'll get up early and I'll sand this down, re-varnish it, wait about 15-20 minutes, put another coat of varnish on there, whatever, nice heavy coat, and then we'll go out and tool around for the day and let it dry in the morning sun and the afternoon sun. The same with the first step here, first stoop, whatever. But on the second tier, you don't really get that, so there's not really a whole lot of maintenance going on in here. The deck, hey dog, what's up? What's up? It again takes care of itself. Ain't worried too much about it. This area might need to get re-varnished. It does get wet, but I throw my wet clothes up there, so that doesn't help it probably. And this, you can see, again, this is old wood. These are nail gun holes that were probably filled initially, but now they're not. The house has a lot of this decorative, cutouts. And up here, it's not so much a problem. But the stairs, if you're not up here using this area, you'll get the cobwebs and stuff inside there, and that's kind of annoying. But the wood itself is all good wood. This house is mostly teak. It's not solid teak. It's got mixed wood. That's what made it a little cheaper. But this area right here, like where the wood was joined, it was filled in with their wood filler. But the porch has flooded a couple times because of massive rains and with the heat. And eventually what happened was the shellac over the wood filler peeled up, and so it winds up getting all bumpy and stuff. So I'll have to use the grinder. I'll probably use my hand grinder and grind that off, go ahead and fill it back in myself, and shellac it over. This area over here, this is what they do. They have their own kind of wood filler that they made, a resin kind of thing, super hard, and it looks almost like dirt, but it's real hard. It ain't going nowhere, and this is what I was talking about. You get all these cobwebs and stuff between here, and the probably easiest way, I could blow this out, I could brush it out, which is kind of a bummer. The easiest way would probably be just with a water blaster. Absolutely no problem using water up here. And so I could just blast all that stuff out with the water. Same with this decorative stuff. I added these So I put these corner pieces in here, and again, these don't have an issue right now, but those are perfect places for all the bugs to form, you know, cobwebs or whatever. You can still see, yeah, we have some here. And some of them, you know, they come in overnight, but reality is that don't really have much of an issue with those, you know. So the house is, you know, it's a low maintenance. You know, initially when we thought of this house, or afterthought actually, we thought, oh man, it's a high maintenance, but hey, we can handle it if we just make a schedule. You know, we'll figure it out. You know, and we didn't make a schedule, but 8 months in, you know, today, I mean, I can figure out that it's not a big problem. You know, and this was I think a good decision for in terms of the house, you know, buying the house. A lot of people ask, you know, wow, why did you buy a house? I already like those houses. I was thinking about buying those houses, and you know, it's all individual, and some people probably think, oh, that's stupid, you know, but I don't really care what other people think. I don't think you should either. You just think about what's good for you. You know, we built this house, and we were moved in it, you know, inside of a week. Guy from across the street, construction guy, he threw the cement foundation down for us. 25,000 baht. What's that? $650 or something like that. The foundation was made. We went over to the wood house people because we actually drove by and we saw the house. I think everybody, especially Westerners, you know, when you're driving down these highways and you see these places that are building these wood houses, these teak houses and cabins and everything, you always want to pull in just to check it out, you know. And then it's so beautiful. The wood is so beautiful, and it's all shellacked and everything, and you're thinking, man, these are cool. And you go to these beach resorts and stuff like that, and they're all wood cabins, and you know, just awesome stuff. And so we stopped by that day, and we're like looking at everything, and we wound up actually buying it. Maybe we bought it that day or something. But this house was originally 1.5 million baht, and I don't know what that is back then. It was like $45,000 something like that. But we saw it, or we didn't. Later we saw it on a Facebook video from the company. It was had reduced to 1.3 million baht. But when we were over there talking and stuff, they said, hey, you know, you want it, you can have it for 1 million baht. And we thought, man, and we were looking at it, and we thought, you know what, it's only 1 million baht. And all right, well, let's do it, you know. And so we bought the house actually before we got the foundation. So after we bought the house, that's when they told us, oh, you need to put the foundation in, and then when you're done with that, you come back and tell us. So we got the foundation, went back, and they said, okay, well, you know, we'll bring it over Tuesday or something. And it took them a few days to actually take it apart because it was already built over there on their land. And so, along with the other structures they have selling, and they have, you know, bungalows and stuff as low as 200,000 or 150,000 baht that you can buy, and they just come out and put it up on your land. And so we went back over there, and they took it all down. We went over there and took a little bit of video of them taking it apart. You know, they had about 20 guys out there taking the house apart, and then they brought it over in two pieces, two big pieces, the main house here and then the main bedroom. But then while they were on site, they built the whole add-on backside, which was the kitchen and the restroom, and then of course all of these stairs and the balcony and stuff, they built that on, and the roof here and stuff. And but they did all that in 5 days. 5 days time, it was done, and then they went with the varnish aerator and basically re-varnished the whole thing, you know, sanded, filled in where they did, and then re-varnished the whole thing, and then and they said, okay, you know, give it I don't know if they say give it a week or give it a few days or whatever, but you couldn't go in right away. But I think after about 2 days, we're like, hey, it's dry. And so we went in and we're like, oh, this is cool. And I think we slept in it that night. So basically when we moved back here, we moved back at the end of the year, last year. In January, we spent tooling around, looking at stuff, doing stuff or whatever. The land, this whole land was overgrown, massive. And so by first week of February, this was a done deal, and we were moved in. I mean, we must have looked at 100 different house videos before coming back to Thailand. We thought of the traditional, cement house, modern house, do this, do that, do this, do that. And hey, cats. And most of them were like, you see these videos where they would be, oh, day 54, or day 55, day 100, day 200, day 250, episode 89 or whatever. And it's been 18 months or whatever. A lot of houses were being built at least a year. And those kind of things. And I'm thinking, damn, man, we were thinking we were going to have to deal with that. And, bummer. But what we were blessed with was the fact that as soon as we decided to buy the house, we were bought, built, and sleeping on the floor in here probably within 2 weeks. And now that was a bonus. And the other thing is that this house is very versatile. I mean, you can, in terms of what you can do with it. I can add on more wood sections if I want. Downstairs, after I finish the shop house over here, we're gonna wall up. I'm gonna cement wall up a section of that down and make it like a glass dining room down there with the restroom, indoor, which will be again a no-brainer. Very easy to do. I can add that on. Here on the property, this was the old shop house over there. It was just basically an old, storage barn that was falling apart, whatever. So I decided to renovate that. Now it's going to be a much more, modern kind of studio. So you can have modern and traditional on the property. And a lot of guys, I see that when they build their modern house, they build it with a small piece of land, and there's really nothing except the borders around the house, and they got a neighbor on either side, and that's cool, especially if you're living down by the beach or this or that or whatever. But if you're thinking of building and you want to buy a piece of land, you just want to buy, let me buy one rye and then put a house on it. I think it would be a perfect idea to find that one piece of rye somewhere, wherever you're going to buy it, and get a knockdown house like this traditional Thai wooden house, and throw it down, and you'll be in it and on your own land in a couple weeks, and then you can deal with stuff afterwards. One of the things we also thought of when they were first coming here, we're thinking of changes or this or that, but then we decided, what, just let them do with it and we'll deal with it after. And so, which was major benefit, right? Because then we didn't worry about nothing. Didn't have to intervene and stuff. Just let them do it their way. And then when you're done, see what change you made. Like when I put the box outside the electrical, I could have said, "Oh, cover that up," but then it would have taken more time. And then I was able to do it, and do it my way basically. And there was some plumbing. The pipes were at different angles. I recut them and straightened them out and stuff so I could, more aesthetically make that better looking. And I think that's a win-win. And some people say, "Oh, you can't buy land and all that." I don't care, man. If you're married or you have a companion and you want to retire in Thailand, then you can do that, without too much of a capital outlay. Getting a one rye of land and throwing a house up, it's not a huge chunk of money. If you have no money, then it's probably a bigger risk. But don't do anything in life if you're not prepared to lose everything in life, right? Including your life. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for the maintenance on the house. The inside of the house, takes care of itself, because you mop and stuff like that. Because you're living in a living space every day, you don't really get a whole lot of any of the cobwebs or little white dust devils and stuff like you do underside the house. But in another video, I'll give you the grand tour of the house. But for now, hope you enjoyed those 10 tips for taking care of your house. And thanks for watching. And keep watching. Back at you.